essential expressions, phrasal verbs that include the word through. It's going to be very practical. I will give you some expressions that you can use, also some tips on how to use them, right? And it's going to be a conversation. It's going to be, a dynamic conversation that we will have today. All right. So if you're here in the chat, say hello. Maria from Spain is here. Welcome. Welcome to all our friends. Okay. Local creative. Welcome. Hi, hi, hi. So, are you ready to learn English the fun way? So, I'm David, your favorite teacher. I'm on Spotify. I create content, podcasts. I also have Zoom classes, live streams, speaking club, all these different tools for you to take your English to the next level. If you'd like to join, very, very simple. Just drop a message, send me a DM, or leave a comment, and I will send you the link. It's free to join. If you join here, you get exclusive content, weekly challenges, a community speaking club, Zoom lessons, and direct access to me. So right now it's summer, we are enjoying, but soon it will be, school season. It'll be September, back to school. So we got to get our act together. If you need to take your English to the next level, if you want to practice your English, if you want to learn with us, with me in our community, let me know. I'd be happy to give you a roadmap for success. All right. Irena is also in class. Welcome, Irena. All right, guys. So without further ado, we're going to go over some phrasal verbs, right? So what are phrasal verbs? Right? Well, phrasal verbs are one of the hardest things for language learners because it includes a normal verb, which means an action, and then a preposition, right? And so you'll have basic verbs like make or take or find or go, right? And then in, go off, go on, go over, go through, go to, right? Go along, go abroad. So there's a lot of them. So phrasal verbs don't hate you. And I hope you don't hate phrasal verbs, but a lot of people do. A lot of people hate them. But I'm going to help you manage your hatred. All right. Basically, you just have to get used to them. You have to learn them in context. Right? And you have to use them. If you use them, they become easier. Right? So let's look at this one. So let's say you have a document. Right? You have a document here and you need to read it. Right? You need to see, okay, I am going to study it from beginning to end. Is it look through? Is it go through? Is it make through? Right? So which one is it, guys? If you're in class, in the main classroom chat, you can vote. Right? And yeah, so let's say you could do it with a contract. So at work, you have a contract that you need to read. You can say read through, that's okay. You can say, I'm going to study it, I'm going to analyze it, that's understandable, but most people will say, I'm going to go through it. Right? Let's go through the document. Let's go through the lesson. Let's go through your essay and see, how we can improve it. All right, let's go through it. Right? It's very, very nice. It means, No, I'm going to walk you through it. That's another phrasal verb with through. All right. So through means, you have something and you go in on one side and you go out the other side. Through, right? But in this case, it means we're going to go through it. Now, it doesn't mean to go like to travel somewhere. Right? People say, well, go means I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to work. So go through, right? I'm not going anywhere. I'm just reading. Exactly. That's why phrasal verbs are so tricky, because you think it's go, but it's not go. It means you're sitting down and you read through it. You go through it. All right, so 50% of you got it right, 50% of you got it wrong. Right. Well, no worries. No worries. Right. Let's go through this lesson. All right. So here's an example. We went through the investment proposal before meeting the client or before meet the client. Which one? So here you can choose the correct option here. Always try to make the lessons interactive. So instead of just passively learning, you can actively read it. So we went through it, right? So you have an investment. All right, you have an investment proposal, right? Where a proposal is when you say, okay, I'd like to invest in your project, right? And so typically a client will send the proposal to you, right? If you're a company or a startup or whatever, you have an investor. An investor sends you the proposal and say, okay, we will give you this amount of capital and this is what we want in return. They can have a stake in the company, right? And then sometimes there's well, of course, it's an offer. Sometimes you need to send a counter offer, and but what regardless of the situation, you need to go through the proposal, right, and look at the terms and conditions. Hi, Lil. Welcome to class. Nice to see you too. Where have you been? We haven't seen you. We haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so only 50% of you got it right. Before meeting the client. Right, so here, right. So when we have words such as before, after, right? So after going to school, right? Um, we after going to work, we rested, right? So before leaving work, I checked my emails. So here, it's always ing, before meeting the client. So we went through the investment proposal before meeting the client. Try to use go through. Now, here's another one, right? You have a career change, right? You have a change. Let's say you started as an investment banker. And then you said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to become a teacher, or I'm going to become an artist or a musician, right? It happens a lot nowadays. A lot of people take through a career change, go through a career change, make through a career change, or sit through a career change. Choose A, B, C, or D. Take through a career change, go through a career change, make through a career change, or sit through. All right, so this is very common right now because especially my generation, the millennials, but also Generation Z, we think differently, right? The previous generation, or our parents, they believed that once you choose a career, let's say you go to college and you study finance, then for the rest of your life, that's what you need to do. Right? That was the old paradigm. Right now, we we believe that we sometimes we don't know what we want. Maybe that's we start working somewhere, we get bored, or we're not fulfilled, we're not satisfied, and so we decide to change careers or to go through a career change. Go through. It's the same one. Go through. So here's another one. She's going through a big career change after years in teaching. So this lady, right, she was a teacher. And then she said, you know what? I need to make more money. I can't make ends meet as a teacher. So I'm going to change careers. And she's going through that career change right now, meaning she's experiencing it. Exactly, Maria. Right. So if you have a preposition, right, so like before, then you need to have an ing, right, followed. Right. So, but here you could say she is experiencing a career change. She's going through it right now. Right. So, what are you going through hard times right now? Right. So that means experiencing. Are you going through hard times? A lot of people are going through hard times. Some people are going through hard times personally, right? Mental health, right? A lot of people are scared. People are wondering what's going to happen, with the world. So they're going through, right? Some people, they can be going through a midlife crisis, right? But other people are going through the best time of their lives. They're experiencing the best time ever, right? But this lady, she is going through a big career change after years in teaching. Now, look at these guys right here, okay? So, before we do that, the home is in the market, on the market, or to the market, meaning the house is for sale, right? The house is for sale. People, the owners, are selling the house. Now, which expression, which preposition do you use? Oh, let's see. Okay, let's do that one again. Sorry. A, B, or C. For some reason, it didn't go through. So let's do this one. Okay. All right. So the house is in, on, to the market. Now this is a very relevant thing because I've talked to a lot of people and they say that they're trying to sell their house but nobody's buying, which is different from a few years ago. Of course, there are many different markets around the world. There isn't one market, there are many markets, and every market is different. But when I talk to a lot of people in the US, they say people aren't buying. Right? The amount of buying pressure is not the same. There are a lot of homes on the market. On the market, guys. On the market. So they had gone through several renovations. They have gone through several renovations before putting the house on the market. Okay, so let's break this one down. Right? They put the house on the market. So it's you put it on the market means you try to sell it. So you put the house on the market. Now, many times before you put a house on the market, you have to renovate it. So you have to go through several renovations, at least one, but many times it's several renovations. But here, right, they put the house on the market a month ago. A month ago, they put it on the market. And so do you say they had gone through several renovations? They have gone through several renovations. The correct answer is A, past perfect. Why? They put the house on the market a month ago. This is past before past, past perfect. They had gone through several renovations before they put it on the market. Right? So it's past before past. So let's say, you can try building a parallel sentence. Right? So for example, I had studied for hours before taking the test. I had studied several hours before taking the test. What does that mean? Well, I took the test, this morning. I took a test this morning, but before taking the test, I had studied several hours. So it's past before past, past perfect. Okay, so you can't vote. You can't answer the poll. That's odd. That's very odd. Well, we'll try it for next one, right? We'll try it for next one. So they had gone through several renovations. Now try writing a sentence, guys. Right? Try writing a sentence using the past perfect. Hola, Rafa, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, Rafa? Sí, tenemos que hablar, tenemos que platicar pronto, ¿verdad? Qué milagro. All right, so just saying hi to some people in the chat that were some old friends, great friends from the old years. All right, so let's continue here. All right, let's continue. So this guy, he works on Wall Street. He works in finance, investment banking. Now, he's working through the finances. He's worked through the finances. He's been working through the finances, or he'd worked through the finances since the stock market crash. Right, so here, let's break this one down. Now, the latest, I guess, well, maybe not stock market crash, but the correction, right? The correction a few months ago. Right? There was a big correction. Some people call it a crash. Right? It's recovered. It has recovered. But this guy, right, he every day he goes to work and he goes through the company finances every day. Now, it started a few months ago, and every day since April, right, every day he's working, he's worked, he's been working, or he'd worked. Right? So it starts in the past, continues to the present, right? In a continuous fashion, right? So, right, this is to work through, which is another way to use the preposition through with a phrasal verb, right? So this is different from go through. So the correct answer is he's been working through the company's finances since the stock market crash. So let's break this one down. So to go through is just to read. But this guy, he isn't just reading, he's not going through the finances, he's working through the finances, right? He's calculating the amount of losses, he's calculating the assets, the liabilities, the owner's equity, the stock, right? All these different financial instruments. It's not easy. Finance is very complicated, right? So it's not just about reading, right, and just going over it. It is working through the finances, the company's finances. So this happened a while back, right? It happened a while back, but since that time, he's been working through the finances. Okay, so look at this lady, right? She's very healthy. Right? She has a healthy lifestyle, right? So she made through the illness. She pulled through the illness. She pushed through the illness. Or she took through the illness thanks to her healthy lifestyle, right? So she was sick, pretty much. But because she exercises, because she has a good diet, because she enjoys a healthy lifestyle, right? She was able to defeat the illness. She was able to pull through, make through, push through, or take through the illness. Right? So this means like survive or get over it. You can get over an illness as well. That's over. Get over something means you leave it behind. Right. Let's see. Yes. Hi, Yana. Welcome to class. Welcome to class. All righty. Yeah, that's it. Well, I when I format the live stream for Instagram, then it only takes a part of the screen, right? So it's hard to format it for every single platform perfectly. That's why it is you know this is why. But anyway, so the correct answer, good job, guys. You got it right. Right. You got it right. She pulled through the illness. Right. So, how many of you would say that you have a healthy lifestyle? Right? Do you have a healthy lifestyle? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, exactly. Anastasia is in the chat. Welcome, Anastasia. We haven't seen you here for a while. Did you take some time off? Did you go to the beach? Right. So, how healthy is your lifestyle? Do you exercise? Do you eat well? Do you, eat poorly? Right. Right. Do you have any things? Yeah. Do you, I do some things that are less than optimal for your health. Alrighty, fantastic, guys. Good. So the home, oh, where is it? No, 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 that's it. Okay, nice. Have you ever thought of move abroad, abroad, or moving abroad? Have you ever thought of move or moving? Right. So this is abroad means it's a different country. Right? It's a different country. You travel. Well, it's not just traveling. In this case, it is moving. Right. It's living in a different country. Now you can travel abroad. That's right. You can travel abroad. You can visit a different country. But to move abroad means to start a new life in a different country. Now, have you ever thought of doing this? So 50-50. Interesting. Interesting. Right? So if you have thought of moving abroad, in the chat, write down, just write the name of the country that you would move to. Right? So have you ever thought of, and then ing. Have you ever thought of investing in cryptocurrencies, in Ethereum? Ethereum has been on a tear. If you follow cryptocurrencies, if you follow Bitcoin or digital assets, you've realized that Ethereum has been on a tear. Bitcoin is the big one, but Bitcoin has slowed down. Now there's a new cryptocurrency that is stealing the spotlight. That's Ethereum. Now, right now, there's a little bit of a correction today. So for a lot of people who are thinking of getting in, you know, it's a dip, right? So maybe this is a good time. Maybe it'll dip a little bit further, but it's definitely been on tear, right? So have you ever thought of investing in real estate, in the stock market, in cryptocurrencies, in commodities? Have you ever thought of moving abroad? Have you ever thought of joining an English learning group? If so, join my community. I will show you the link in a little bit. Right? Have you ever thought of joining a speaking group online? Right? We have a speaking club in my community where we get together and we speak in English. Right? I organize different topics. I prepare some lessons. We can talk. Yesterday, we talked about the childhood, which, by the way, Lil, I will post the class. I haven't had time, but I'll post it tonight. So we have the speaking lessons, and then I post the recordings in the chat so that if you can't join the speaking group, at least you can listen to it as a podcast or something. So we have conversation groups online on Zoom where you can meet people from all around the world. You can talk to me and you can improve your spoken English, which is essential, right? It's a lot of fun too. You meet a lot of people. I love it. So definitely think about that. Definitely think about, you know, joining our community, and joining the speaking club. Now, I've been making through, writing through, or thinking through the pros and cons of moving abroad. Right? This is the key. Right? So, moving abroad, I've been talking to a lot of people in the US, but also here in Europe. Some top level engineers, data engineers, AI engineers, and they're telling me that they'd like to move abroad. They'd like to move to the US because the opportunities in the United States in the tech sector are a lot more attractive, to be honest. They're much more attractive than in Europe. Now, Europe is a great place. I love Europe. For me, Europe is more attractive because of the lifestyle. But for some of these data engineers, for some of these computer scientists who specialize in artificial intelligence, moving abroad, and more specifically, moving to the United States, is a more attractive proposition. Therefore, they told me, I've been thinking through the pros and cons of moving abroad. Now, writing through doesn't exist. Now, I know why you said it, because you saw a pen in the picture, but you don't say I'm writing through the pros and cons. You say I'm thinking through. Right? I'm thinking through the pros, the advantages, and the cons, the disadvantages of moving abroad. Right? You always need to analyze, the pros and the cons. Right? It's just basic analysis, the positives and the negatives, the pros and cons of moving abroad. Right? And once you do that, you'll have a clearer picture of that. Okay, so to think through. Now, any major decision, you need to think through the decision. All right, so what are you thinking through right now? Right, what are you thinking through? So here are some questions, right, with thinking through, and I want you to answer them. Right, so I asked you some questions with going through. Right, so have you thought through the risks of investing? Right, so I talked to a friend of mine who was very excited about cryptocurrencies. Very excited, just like I am, and I love I think it's the future of money and the future of tech, like the blockchain. Right. So I think AI needs blockchain technology in order to really operate. Right. So, but I already went through that a few live streams ago when we talked about Web3, right? The new internet that's coming up. But if you want, I can go through it again, right? But you need to think through before investing because it's very volatile, right? You need to think through all the steps before launching your business. So are you thinking through all the steps of you know of launching your business, right? Did you think through all the possible reactions before sharing your you know your opinions online? So you have to think through the different reactions, right? So good. Maybe if you're moving abroad, you need to think through the the steps, right? The costs of moving abroad, right? So very nice, guys. Alrighty. So very nice. Any questions before we finish, guys? So if you are learning English, if you want to practice, right? If you want to get content, then join this community. right? Where I will have direct access. I'll post a lot of lessons there, speaking lessons. You can also join the Zoom classes where you can speak to me face to face online. You can meet other people there, right? It's going to get very busy. I know everyone's on holiday right now, but it is the best way for you to get results. Okay, it's the best way for you to get results is to join the community and yeah, and interact. Right. So remember, guys, stay in touch. Stay in touch. It's summertime. I know everyone's at the beach, but soon it's going to be business as usual. Okay. So, what do you mean where, Maria? Where? So, you're already part of the community. The community is on WhatsApp. So, the answer to where is it's on WhatsApp. Okay. So everyone, if you are here, join our community. It is the best way to get results, guys. Okay, it's the best way to get results. You can learn, you can practice, and oh, I see. Move abroad. Where would I move abroad? Well, I'm happy in Prague. I live in the Czech Republic and I'm happy here. Honestly, I don't need to move abroad right now. But I did move abroad because I'm from the United States of America. And so I moved abroad several years ago. Actually, I first moved abroad in 2009. And I went to Slovakia, then I went to Asia, to Korea, went to the Middle East, now went to South America, then back to North America, and then I'm back in Europe. Okay. So thank you, Irina. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone on Instagram and on YouTube and on Facebook. All right. So Ozelden. Ozelden. Okay, so you want to join. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Ozelden. So send me a message, Ozelden. Okay, send me a message, Ozelden, and I will send you the link to join the community. All right. So Ozelden, make sure you send me a message. All right, and yeah, you're happy to be in the community, Anichka. I'm happy you are there as well. Okay, so all right, guys, have a great evening or a great day wherever you are. And I will see you guys soon. Okay, tomorrow we'll have a French live stream. Okay, so join the French live stream if you're learning French. Join the live stream tomorrow, Friday, and I will post the videos from the speaking classes. Okay, guys? Right. And of course, if you want to practice your conversation, let me know. We have speaking classes where you can talk to people from all around the world, right? And all that's the best way to become fluent. If you want to improve your speaking, there is no other way. You gotta speak. You gotta speak. Okay, so be happy, guys. Have a great evening. Nice talking to you. Nice seeing you. And as always, take care and bye bye.